CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid joins us now from our Washington bureau. Paula, CBS News was able to confirm that in the days before his firing, Comey did tell lawmakers he asked the Justice Department for more resources for funding for FBI's Russia probe. What more do you know about that?
Well, Reena, the Department of Justice on the record denies that report. But as you noted, our own Nancy Cortez is hearing from multiple officials on the Hill that Comey did, in fact, ask for more resources, more energy, and more attention for the Russia investigation. And Reena, if that is true, that will just further add to the suspicion that Comey's firing was, in fact, an effort to tamp down this investigation. But again, on the record, the Department of Justice says that is absolutely false and it never happened. It's
such an odd situation, Paula, because you've got the Attorney General Sessions who recommended that Comey be fired. He's in charge of finding a replacement, but he also recused himself from anything Russia related, from this probe in particular. So doesn't this entire firing qualify under Russia related activity in a sense?
Well, the Attorney General has recused himself from two of the most high-profile cases the Department of Justice has handled in the last 12 months. Before he was confirmed, he recused himself from any further investigations into Hillary Clinton's use of a private server. And then he was forced to recuse himself in any of the Russia investigations. And Reena, there are questions about whether or not he should, first of all, be involved in the firing. The firing of James Comey was allegedly completely based on decisions he made in the Hillary Clinton email investigation. So there are questions about, well, why are you able to make this decision if you said you would recuse yourself from any further matters having to do with that case? His staffers tell me that they believe that this is different. This isn't anything about reopening the investigation or the investigation itself. They argue that this is merely about decisions made after the investigation. And Reena, of course, with Russia, then the next question, well, how is he then able to choose or help choose the person who will oversee the Russia investigation? Again, the Department of Justice stands firm and they believe that none of the decisions that he's making here contradict his prior statements and promises to recuse.
Speaking of replacement, what are you hearing as far as names being floated around?
Well, right now, the acting FBI director is Andrew McCabe. He was the deputy. As soon as Comey was fired, boom, he became the acting director. But this morning, we know that the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General, Reena, they have interviewed 4 candidates who could potentially serve as the acting director until the White House and the Department of Justice choose a permanent successor. Reena, this is a 10-year term that the FBI director would have. So it appears that they did not have a succession plan in place, and they're going to take some time to figure that out. Now, the 4 people who have come to the Department of Justice this morning to be interviewed, they're all top government officials. 2 of them are running FBI field offices, one in Chicago, one in Richmond. The other is a high-level official at FBI headquarters, and another one works at ODNI. Reena, these guys are workhorses. They're not show horses. Any of them would be completely capable of handling the day-to-day operations of the FBI until a permanent replacement is named and ultimately confirmed.
Yeah, it's a 10-year term. I can understand the importance of all of this. I want to ask you, though, about Andrew McCabe. We know, as you mentioned, he's going to serve as acting FBI director. So why not have him be the backup and the main replacement?
Well, I think one of the reasons that they're looking for a replacement for him, someone else to serve in this acting role, is because he, too, is tainted by the ongoing investigation into how the FBI handled the Clinton server case. Specifically, there's an internal watchdog at the Department of Justice who is currently reviewing all of the decisions that were made in that case. We know there were many controversial decisions made there. One of them is why Andrew McCabe did not recuse himself from that case after his wife ran for office and accepted money from a Clinton-linked donor. So if you're going to fire FBI Director Comey, arguing that he is sort of too tainted from his decisions in the Clinton email investigation, it's really hard to convince someone that Andrew McCabe is somehow acceptable. So that's, I think, why we're seeing the head of the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, and his deputy interviewing other people to replace McCabe as the acting head of the FBI until they have a permanent director.
All right, Paula Reid connecting the dots for us over at the Justice Department. Thank you, Paula.